Hey, hi. My name is Purnima and welcome to my lecture series. I'm so glad these series interested you. So before you start listening to my lectures, I will just like to give you or tell you what my motivation was behind shooting or conducting these lecture series. So I was approached by this NGO called the Udayan Shalini Foundation, where I was asked to teach English to little girls who were just going to go to their colleges. So, especially from the place that I come from, that is India, English is being used vastly. So, I have seen a lot of people struggling in communicating in English. It's not just, so I feel whenever you have to express your thoughts and emotions, it is not just enough to know the technicalities or just to know the grammar. It is also equally important to know how to use your voice, how to pronounce certain words, how to have a certain body language if you want the other person to listen to you. So that is what I have in these lecture series. I have not only covered some basic grammar topics, but I have also covered topics such as intonations or pronunciations or body language. So I really hope by the end of these lecture series, you are able to gain some more confidence in expressing your thoughts and emotions in English. And I have a little secret for you that I will be introducing a surprise member towards the end of these series. And so this surprise member is really close to my heart. And by listening about this surprise member, I am sure you're going to feel so motivated, so encouraged that it does not matter what your caste is, your age is, your sex is, your background is, you are equally you have the equal potential as anybody else has to pursue whatever you feel like, whatever you are scared of, just because of coming from a certain background, or what will people, or thinking about what will people say. So yeah, with these series I just want to help those people who are hesitant to communicate in English, and I hope I'm able to do that. So I hope you enjoy the series. Thank you. You guys know that we have finished all the sessions which would include grammar, and today we'll study about phonemes. So phonemes are something that you would actually require while making conversations. So this is something which is very practical, that you would only recognize, or you would only understand, or you would only learn when you're talking and listening to yourself. I mean, speaking in English is not only about grammar, right? Because grammar is something like maths, it's all logical, or it's rules, you have to remember. But phonemes is something that you could develop as and when you are talking. It's not something like logic. So, this is something that you hear and listen. So, what are phonemes? Phonemes are the sounds that English alphabets make. I think in English language there are around 44 different sounds, but I have just selected a few of them which I felt we'll be using in everyday life, and we'll continue with the same. Okay, so phonemes or phonetics are the sound of every alphabet or every letter, and the sounds of every little letter makes the sound of a word, right? So I'll start with big. So here the pronunciation of big, big. So when you say A, B, though we say B, when it's written as a word, it's not as big, it's big. In the same way, when you have rubber, so here you have two B's, so you stress on the B's. Big rubber. Okay? Then you have phone. So f is a sound that is made by F, but if you have a combination of P and H, it still makes the sound of F. So PHONE is phone. Then you have occur. OCCUR. Here you'll have to focus on the sound of double C's. Though it is pronounced as C, when it comes together in a word, it's occur. Then antique. So this is a little trickier because you have the combination of Q, U, E. Q, U, E. When you have the combination of Q, U, E, it's G, antique, G, check, G. So Q, U, E is G. Now, the next is knee. So here the letter K is actually silent. You would only pronounce it as knee. So though when you say the alphabet K, you do not say it as kani. You say knee. But in different words like kite, right? Then you would pronounce it as you would have the sound of K. But here knee K is silent. It's only no. Then you have dinner. It's not dinner, it's dinner. It's not dinner. You do not stress too much. So it should be a balance. Dinner, not dinner, dinner. Okay, now this is interesting. VET is also wet, WET is also wet. So how do you pronounce either of them? Though they sound the same, they are pronounced differently. Whenever you have the alphabet V, you always bite your teeth to your lips like B, B, okay? And when you have the word W or the letter W, then you round or circle your lips like when, wet, what, okay? Focus here. So when anything starts with V, vet, veterinary, or what other words are from V? Dictor, right? And when it's from W, it's wash, win, wait. So if you listen to it very carefully, wet and wet sound differently. So that is something you really have to keep in mind because the words that start with a W are a lot, so they come very frequently. So you might want to improve your pronunciation with that. Okay. Then the letter Y. So though it has Y, it is pronounced as y, yes. And O-N-I-O-N. Here there is no Y at all. It's I-O-N, but it's pronounced as onion. There is also a sound of Y or y there. Onion, onion. So this is also important. Okay. Then you have the words with ed, like stopped, parked, washed. So when you have ed, you do not like washed. You do not do that. You say washed. You just continue with the flow. Stopped. You do not say stopped. Okay. You do not say parked. It's parked. Okay. Anything with the word, the combination ed is pronounced like that. Then you have the word Xerox. So though it is an X, it is pronounced as Z. Xerox. Xerox. Okay? So this, otherwise it's not working. So XE is pronounced as Z. Xerox. But the here XE is pronounced as Z, but the last X is pronounced as X. Xerox. Xerox. Okay? Next is sneeze. Here you have a Z and it's pronounced as Z. Sneeze. Okay. Then a very interesting sound that I have noticed is that of TH. So when you have a word like thumb, T-H-U-M-B, thumb, so at that point of time you pronounce TH as thumb, okay? But when you have the word dan, it's dan, thumb, dan, that, that, feather, okay? So all these are things that you might not be taught, but it is only be developed when you hear more and more. So what I would suggest you guys is, whenever you listen to a song, have the lyrics in front of you, and or whenever you watch a movie, when you have the subtitles, you see, you can correlate how they are speaking in correlation with the subtitles or with the lyrics, and then you will understand how are the words actually pronounced. And then what you can do is, as a like a homework, You can keep pronouncing, you can like have random 10 words, pronounce it and voice record yourself. And when you voice record yourself, you can later on go in online Google or use a dictionary and say pronounce this word. So that application will also pronounce the word, and then you can actually check, oh, okay, how is it actually pronounced, because these are some things that you cannot learn by logic. Okay, great. So then next is mission, SS. So when you have SS, it's gonna sh, mission. But here you have a exception. You have CHEF. CHEF is also chef. It's not chef. It's not ch. It's sh. So CHEF is chef. But CHEQ is check. Ch. Check. But CHEF is chef. Okay, so please don't get lost. Next you have SPECIAL, special. Sh, again, CIA, sh. CI is sh. And motion, TION is also sh. So you saw SS was sh, CH was sh, TI was sh, and CI was also sh. Different languages now. I don't know French. Okay, and then MEASURE, measure. Now this sound is different. It's not ch, it's not sh, it's j, measure, j, j. You can repeat after me, j. So measure, division. It's not division, it's not division, it's division. Okay, so be very careful with this. Okay, and in these three words, what I have heard is it's something that these are words that you use all the time, but it's very some of you pronounce it very wrongly. So IF is if. It's not if. Okay, it's not if. It's if. And ALWAYS. It's not always. Though A sounds as a, sometimes it's not always, it's always. ALL is all, and you take that sound, always. It's not always, it's always. Okay? And one thing that I've noticed is when you have this texting lingo where you use the shortcuts, and in the act of using shortcuts, you normally pronounce the word wrongly. Like for example, birthday. You write, I mean, whenever you text people, you normally write a shortcut as BBAY, right? But it's actually, the spelling is BIRTHDAY. So there's a TH there, and that's often missed. So it's pronounced as birthday. Birth, it's not birthday. It's not happy birthday. It's not happy birthday. It's happy birthday. Do not forget the TH sound. And I want you to remember this with all the shortcuts that you use in your texting or emailing or whichever form you use. Do not confuse between the shortcuts with the actual pronunciation. Okay? Get that right. Then you have BED, bed, and BREAD, bread. Though it has an E and it has an EA, it sounds the same. Bed, bread. Bed, bread. And then now we have words with A. So late, day, late, day. It's not lut, it's late, day, train, 8. The number 8, it's EIGHT. So EI, it's A, 8. Okay? Then you have IE. So it's chief, E. IE is E, chief. CHEF was chef. CHIEF is chief. Okay? And then baby. Though it ends with a Y, the sound is E, baby. Okay? Then few, E-W. When you have W, it's you, few, chew, blew, drew. Okay? Then we have double O, book, moon. You do not say book. It's short, book. But when you say moon, it's moon. It's not moon. It's moon. So book is pronounced as different and moon is pronounced as different. Though both of them have double O's. Then truth. It sounds same as book. Book, truth. But here you have a U. Truth. Then air. Here you had late in the same way air. Ate. But when you say apple, it's different. Apple. But air. Ate. Okay? So, distinguish between the sounds. Ear. My ear. Ear. E-A. Ear. Ear. Chair. It's not char. It's air. Chair. Hair. Mirror. Mirror. Door. It's not door, though it has two O. Moon has a U sound, moon. But when you have door, it's O. Door. O. Door. Okay? Then herd. Though it has EA, it's again heard. Like bed, bread, heard. It's not heard. It's heard. It's not hear. When you say hearing, then it is hearing. But when it's heard, it's heard. So I know it's a lot to take, and these are like a lot of variations, but I'm sure once you start speaking and once you do this, you can just choose like 5 words each day and like listen to the pronunciations, listen to English music or English movies or whatever. Then lastly I have you are, burn. Though it has an R, it's not stressed, it's not like mirror. In mirror, you have the sound r, mirror. But in burn, you do not say burn. You say burn. In American accents, like burn, burn. So there they kind of twist the R. But here it's burn. And first. It's not first. It's not first. It's first. And in American accents, first. Okay? Great. So these were just some of the words that I thought of introducing you and making you understand how important the sounds of alphabets are. Not only in English language, in every language, whatever mother tongue you have, be it Indian languages like Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, or be it foreign languages like French, German, whichever language it is, the sounds make a lot of difference. When it's a mother tongue, you normally do not focus on the sounds because that is what you grew up in. You learned it since you were a child. But when you try and sit down and think of any 2 words in your mother tongue, and then you will realize that though they have the same combination of letters, they sometimes sound very differently. Okay? Okay. So phonemes are the sound of letters or alphabets individually and how they come together in a word. But when you talk about intonations, intonations are the sound of a complete sentence. So it reflects your mood, it reflects the intensity of an expression. Like if I'm happy, how would my sentence sound? Or how would my conversation sound? Or how would my speech sound? If I'm sad, if I want to say something sad, how will I sound? If I want to say something exciting, how will I sound? Right? That is when you have to understand or learn about intonations. So I have an example. So lectures begin tomorrow. So depending on your perspective, this sentence could be a happy sentence or a sad sentence or an exciting sentence or a shocking sentence. So when you're sitting at home chilling and you get this text, lectures begin tomorrow. So you could either be having a great time in the lockdown of 2020 and you could be like, oh, I'm so fine, the lectures are beginning tomorrow. So you could be happy. So when you're happy, the sound is, yay, lectures begin tomorrow, right? But now you're chilling at home and you're liking it. Initially you were like chilling and you're bored and you want to get out and you say lectures begin tomorrow and you were happy. And now you're like, you are actually having a good time And then they say lectures begin tomorrow. It's like, oh, lectures are beginning tomorrow. You see, lectures begin tomorrow. Lectures begin tomorrow. You see the change in my voice. You do not even have to look at my expression. Just by the voice or just by this modulation of my voice, you can actually understand, right? If it's a happy tone or a sad tone. If it's a surprise, it's like, lectures begin tomorrow. Okay? If it's shock, it's like, shit, lectures are going to begin tomorrow. And what else? Yeah. So basically, those are the. So I have classified them as a statement. So lectures begin tomorrow. Then question. So when it's a question, so even now you heard me saying when it's a question, so I am pausing. So when I pause, I also have to show it in my tone. It's a question, then you continue the rest of the sentence. So if you are telling a story, if you're telling a speech, if you're in an interview, anywhere and everywhere, it is important for you to focus on your intonations. Okay? So question is, hey, what are you doing? So, hey, what are you doing? So it's low, 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 and then high and low. What are you doing? But if it's a statement, hey, I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing fine. Hey, what are you doing? You see, it goes high and then low. That's how you sound a question. Then you have surprise. In surprise, it's all high. It's like, yay! Or, what? So, I mean, it could be like an exciting or something that's you did not expect and it happened to you. It's like, oh my god, I'm so surprised, you know? Okay. And then you have a doubt. So when you have a doubt, it's like, I don't know actually, I'm not sure. So you end it with a low. I'm not sure. I don't know actually. Can you please repeat that again? And so, can you please repeat that again? That's a question. Can you please repeat that again? And it's a doubt. I don't. Okay. What else is a doubt? I don't know exactly where that came from. So it's kind of low. You can't say I don't know exactly where that came from. So you can't say something else and your voice is saying something else, right? So they have to match. So you really have to practice that. And then you have excitement. So surprise or excitement. So when you are, if someone like is sick or if someone passes away, so something that's very sad, so you kind of like say, I'm really sorry to inform you, have a low tone, right? And if you've just got a new job or if you've just done something really great in your career or in your life or for your family or for your friends or for your partners, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so happy. So you know, these intonations really help you to convey or express your emotions and your thoughts. So that is that. And it's not just about high and low, it's also about stressing. So now you just might have heard me stressing on the word stressing, right? So you have to stress on the words that you want the opposite person to listen intently. So suppose you're in some lecture and the person in front of you is like blah 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 blah, this happened, then that happened, in a very low and monotonous tone. What do you mean by monotonous? In a single tone, with no highs and lows, with no pauses, with no stressing on any of the words, and that becomes very boring. The opposite person tends to lose interest. I mean, it's psychological. Whenever you have a sudden raise or a sudden pause, it can create suspense, it can create excitement, it can create happiness. So you know, all these are to invoke the same emotions in the opposite person or the audience that you are feeling. Okay, so for example, this is what I'm talking about. So someone's like, okay, 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 and then suddenly like, this is what I'm talking about, and then they suddenly wake up like, okay, what is she talking about? then they will look at you intently. So when you stress, the opposite person, tries to wake up and listen. And then when you have exclamation, it's like, oh my god, or like, oh my god, like, oh god. So the same oh god can be like, oh my god, that's so beautiful. That's like, oh god, that's disgusting. So you pause, oh god, that's disgusting. Okay? And then so these are the basic intonations. First is go high or go low, or keep changing your pitch, changing your voice modulation, stress on the words that you want the opposite person to hear intently. So first, choose the mood, if it's happy, if it's sad, or if it's whichever, if it's a question, if it's an exclamation, if it's an order, if it's a request. So all of these have different intonations. And so now you learn the phonemes and intonations. What about the body language? So body language also makes a huge difference when it comes to conversations or when it comes to speaking English. So you always need to have straight shoulders. You cannot crouch like this. This means low confidence. If someone stands like this, it means low confidence. So have upright shoulders. This means you are confident of what you're saying. You know what you're saying, and you always maintain eye contact. If you're sad, then you can look low. But normally, whenever you're in an interview, you're having a conversation, you're on a date, always try to maintain eye contact, because then the opposite person knows that you are confident and you mean what you say. Sometimes when you might have heard, if you lie, you tend to look here and there. You can't make eye contact. So making eye contact confirms that what you're saying is what you mean. Okay? Then you have your body language, right? So if you say thank you, it's like thank you, please. And if you want to order, so you have a strong body language. If you have excitement, so you have that pumped up body language. Then if you are in a surprise, you have your face lightens up and you smile. You won't be like, oh my god, I'm so happy. You won't be like that, right? I mean, for sarcasm, of course you can, but normally it's like whenever you're having a conversation or speaking English, it's not just the words, it's not just the grammar, it's the sound, it's the pitches, it's your body language, it's your expressions. Everything comes together in conversations or in expressing your thoughts and emotions. Okay? Great. Thank you for listening to my lecture. I hope you enjoyed it. And please leave your comments, feedback, and any questions that you have in the comment section. Thank you.